Hello everyone, welcome to StudyIQ. So we are going to start with data interpretation. So what we are going to do is here onwards, in this session I'll be discussing about the basics of data interpretation, and in the next session I'll try to give you some calculation techniques which you are going to use in data interpretation. See, when it comes to data interpretation, it is hardly percentages and averages, right? So mostly you will get 70% of your questions will be based on percentages and the rest will be based on, or 20% may be based on averages. Okay, so the maximum belongs to this. Then there will be some miscellaneous questions which is like based on reasoning type, right? Or you may get some questions based on sets and Venn diagram also, even in data interpretation. Okay, so then I'll teach you how to draw the 3-set Venn diagram, 4-set Venn diagram, and even 5-set, 6-set Venn diagrams, and etc. will go also, right? 5 sets, 6 sets Venn diagram, it is not feasible for you to draw it and get the answer, but I'll teach you a different method for that. Okay, so this is what we are going to do. Firstly, what you need to understand is conceptually this is not that difficult. This is hardly 8th standard maths, because it's all about percentage and average, and you are through with it, you are thorough with it. Okay, so conceptually you will not face any problem. The problem here is actually, if I want to teach you something in data interpretation, it is the calculation, right? So what I'll do is, I tell you what are the type of questions that you can get here, whether it is percentage or average, or in sets and Venn diagram also, if time permits, I'll take it today, or I'll discuss the types of questions which you can get in sets and Venn diagram later. Then in the next session, I'll take some calculation techniques. With that, the basics will be over. Then it's just a matter of taking some, caselets which they have asked before, and I'll solve those questions, or I'll take some sample level 1 difficulty. We'll start with 1 or 2 level 1 difficulty, then we'll move to level 2, level 3, and then we'll take some actual CAT questions and we'll solve. So maybe the series will go like 10 sessions or something like that. But let me tell you, the first 2 sessions are important, because I'm going to tell you the types of questions that you're going to get in percentage and average and in sets and Venn diagram, and then rest will be reasoning based. So it depends on the question, you need to solve it in the spot, right? But even there also, the combination of those 2 will be possible. Okay, that is a maximum which you can get. Apart from that, I'll teach you some calculation techniques. Now, let me move on to the basics. So I told you already, percentage is the most important area, right? So when it comes to percentage, what are the types of questions that you're expecting from percentage? That's what we need to discuss. There are 4 types, okay, and only 4 types of questions which can be asked from percentage, or you'll get from percentage, and we'll try to understand that 4 questions. Out of those 4, first one is not important at all. So hardly you need to understand there are 3 questions which are possible from percentage, and we'll also see how you're going to tackle this question, and out of which I tell you which one is difficult and which one will be easy. Okay, you will understand it soon. So when it comes to percentage, the first question is like change. Okay, so this is something which is not related to percentage directly. This is in terms of absolute numbers. See, let me say in 2011, okay, there is a company, the production of the company is, let's say, 10. In 2012, okay, let's say the production increased to 15. Okay, so when I'm asking what is the change means this difference, 15 minus 10. So you will write it as 5. And this is something which is very simple. This is absolute value, this is absolute value. The change in absolute value means you'll just take the difference and you'll get the change. And nobody is going to ask you any questions which is related to this, right? So you'll not expect any question. But this can be a part of the solution of some other questions, and that's what we need to discuss. Second one, right? Second one is a common question, and which is an easy question which you should attempt in any case. That is a percentage change. Okay, so percentage change. Or you can get questions like, it can be in different language, growth rate. Okay, so percentage change is what you'll call as growth rate. Both are actually same. Okay, so either percentage change or growth rate. So GDP. Okay, so this year to this year, what is the change? That is actually percentage change, but you'll say growth rate. Population, right? From this year to next year, what is the growth rate? Okay, so it is nothing but the percentage change only. Okay, so let's say production of a company is 10, it was increased to 15. We understood that the change is 5. If I ask you what is the percentage change, or if I ask you what is the growth rate means how much growth is there or how much change is there, 5, right? That is its absolute change, divided by from where the change happened, from here. So on top of this, right? So that is how you will write 5 by 10. Okay, and obviously into 100 and all those things will be there because you are converting into percentage, but I may not write this multiplied by 100 or divided by 100, okay, in all the cases, but you need to understand in that way. Okay, so 5 by 10 I'll write it as 50% changes there. So basically 10 to 15, 50% changes there, and that's what you call as the growth rate. So if I ask you what is the growth rate in 2012, from 2011 to 2012, what is the growth rate? 50% is the growth rate. How you are getting that? The change, or the change you will write in a different way. You can now interpret like this. What is change? Change is nothing but final value minus initial value, right? That is your change. Final value is 15, initial value is 10. So this is your change divided by on top of what? That is initial value, right? So this is a formula if you need to remember it as a formula, but otherwise this is how you will directly get change divided by on top of what the change happened, right? What is the change here? 5 is the change here. From where? 10. So 5 by 10. Give you the answer. Or the faster way to calculate the percentage is like this. See, let me give you two values. Let me say 2 to 4. Okay, so 2 to 4, if I need to calculate the percentage change, what you will do is just take the factor of multiplication from 2 to 4, right? So 4 divided by 2, or 2 into multiplied by what will give you 4? 2, right? This is what we call as the factor of multiplication, right? Now minus 1, that means 1. Okay, so take factor of multiplication. You need to find the percentage change between these two. So take the factor of multiplication 2, minus 1 you will get 1, add 2 zeros, you will get the percentage change. Exactly the same thing if you do here. What is the factor of multiplication? 1.5, right? 10 into 1.5 will give you 15. Minus 1 means 0.5, right? When you add 2 zeros, you will get 50%. Add 2 zeros means multiplied by 100. Okay, when I am saying adding zeros, I am multiplying by 0 or 100 to 1000. Adding 3 0 means multiplied by 1000. Adding 4 0 means 10,000. Removing zeros means, removing 2 zeros means divided by 100. Removing 3 zeros means divided by 1000. Like that it will go. Okay, so now onwards I will do this only. I will talk in this way. Add 0, remove 0. Because in data interpretation this is very much important. Okay, so this is how you will calculate. So what if it is 3 to 9? 3 to 9, the factor of multiplication is 3. 3 minus 1, that is 2. When you add zeros, 200% changes there, right? So 100 to 800, if you need to see the percentage change, what is the factor of multiplication? 8. 8 minus 1, 7. So 700% changes there, right? Now, you may think why all these things are happening. See, this is nothing but, when I am saying factor of multiplication, what is that? Final value divided by initial value, right? So final value divided by initial value. Then what I am saying is minus 1, right? So here factor of multiplication is 2, minus 1. So minus 1. Then what I am saying is add 2 zeros. That means multiplied by 100. So effectively if you see this, if you take initial value as the LCM, it's like this. Final value minus initial value divided by initial value into 100, and which is exactly what we did here also, right? Here also we did the same thing. This is final value minus initial value, that is what this 5, divided by initial value, that is what this 10, into 100, and that's what exactly you're doing. So rather than remembering a formula like this, you can just do by seeing the factor of multiplication. So if you need to find the percentage change between two numbers, just get the factor of multiplication between that two numbers, okay, and minus 1, add zeros. That is what you need to remember now onwards. So there is no point in doing all these things. Get the factor of multiplication. Your percentage change will be decided by the factor of multiplication. So get the factor of multiplication, minus 1, add 2 zeros, you will get the percentage change. So that is your second case. Now let's move on to the third case. Third case, so we have done with change, we have done with percentage change. Third case is change in percentage change. So if I need to ask you change in percentage change, I need to get 2 percentage changes, then only I'll get the change, right? So if you need to get 2 percentage changes, I need to get 3 years and the respective values. It can be population, it can be GDP, it can be whatever it is, right? So let me give you 3 years. Let's say 2011, 2012, 2013. So what I'm saying is, this is 10, okay? This is, let's say, 15, and this is, say, let's say 30. So production of a company was 10, 10,000, 1 lakh or whatever it is, 15 and 30 in 3 years. So now if I ask you what is the change here, you will tell me the change is 5. What is the change here? You will tell me the change is 15. That is absolute. Okay. Now if I ask you what is the percentage change, you will see the factor of multiplication, that is 1.5, right? So 1.5 is the factor of multiplication, minus 1.5, add 2 zeros, you will get 50% changes there. So percentage change is 50%, change is 5, percentage change is 50, or growth rate is 50. Similarly here change is 15, but if I ask you what is the growth rate or the percentage change, you'll see the factor of multiplication, that is 2, 2 minus 1, 1 and 2 zeros, that means 100%. So here 50% growth is there, here 100% growth is there. Now the third question which I asked you is change in percentage change. So that is also in terms of absolute value, change in percentage change. So here you got 50% change, here you got 100% change. So if I'm asking you change in percentage changes, what is that? That means what is the change between this? That is 50. So here you will see 50. Now understand, if you need to get this change in percentage change, okay, you need to find percentage change in this 2011-12 and 2012-13, get the percentage changes and then take the difference between them. That is what change in percentage change. The fourth case, that will be the most difficult among all, that will be percentage change in percentage change. I hope you understand. So the next will be percentage change in percentage change. Okay, so here I already told you, when I am saying change percentage, this is percentage change and this is percentage change. That means growth rate. So growth rate here is 50, growth rate here is 100. So if I ask you change in percentage change, I can also ask you change in growth rate. That is what 50% and 100% minus. So this difference you will take and 50. That is what the change in growth rate. Here what I am asking is percentage change in growth rate. That is the difference between these two. Here only change, here percentage change. But this part remain the same. This part is growth rate. This is change in growth rate. This is percentage change in growth rate. So if I ask you change in growth rate, see the growth rate here, see the growth rate here, get the difference, 50. If I ask you percentage change in growth rate, it is not just the difference. Okay, so here what you need to do, exactly the same thing that you did before. You have this as initial value, this as final value. But remember how you are getting these initial and final value? When you are taking the growth rate or when you are finding the percentage change. So the difference, that is 50. That is a change in growth rate. But percentage change in growth rate means get the percentage change between this. 50 to 100, what is the factor of multiplication? 2. 2 minus 1, 1. Add 2 zeros, 100. So what is your percentage change in growth rate? 100% change is there in growth rate. I hope all of you understood what I am saying. So if I ask you between this, what is the change? Just 5. Between this, what is the percentage change? That is 50. That is the growth rate. Here also exactly the same thing. Then the third category, change in growth rate. So you need two growth rate, this and this, then only you can find the change. So 50 to 100, what is the change? 50 is the change. Last is percentage change in growth rate. So again you need to get two percentages to find the percentage change in growth rate. So there you will just take the percentage between two percentage changes or two growth rates. So you'll get it as 100%. And these are the 4 questions which can be asked from percentage in any data interpretation question. Out of this, the first one is not important. Second one is the most commonly asked. Okay, second and third is actually one and the same because if you need to solve the third one, still you need to apply the concept of second one and then there is no difference, right? You may need to just take the difference between two numbers, okay? So second and third is almost the same except one step calculation extra required. Apart from that, there is no difficulty in the first, second and third. Second and third is the most commonly asked questions, either percentage change like in terms of growth rate or change in growth rate. Okay, now the questions will be in which year the growth rate is highest. So what you need to do is, you need to find the growth rate of all those given years and you need to see which is highest. So how will you find the growth rate? That is the percentage change like this. And the difficult question which you can get is this, percentage change in percentage change. What you need to do there is, get the percentage change between these two. This, whatever is asked, okay, they will ask you percentage change in growth rate with these years and the base year will be given with respect to which year, that will be given. Here it is not given, so we will take this as the initial value. They will give you with respect to which base year, okay. So if I am asking you percentage change in growth rate with respect to 2011-12, then I will use this as a base. That is how I am getting this, right? 100, that is the total final, minus 50, Denominator will be given in the question with respect to which year. Okay, with respect to 2011-12 will be given, then I'll go for 50. If I am saying with respect to 12-13, then divided by 100, that is a different case. But it will be given in the question. If it is not given, you will take this as the initial value. That's it. If it is given, do it accordingly. So you will not face any difficulty. Understand these are the 4 possible questions which can be asked from percentage. And once you know this, there's not going to be a big deal, or it is not going to be a difficult question for you. So this is what you need to understand from percentage in terms of data interpretation. So the 4 questions are change, that is not important, percentage change, and percentage change is what you call as the growth rate. Third is change in percentage change. If you need to do that, you need 2 percentage changes, right? So with respect to 2 years, you need a percentage change. With respect to another 2 years, you need a percentage change. Get the difference between that, and that's what your change in percentage change. What is the last category? Last category is extension of the third one, that is percentage change in percentage change. So percentage change in percentage change, if you need to calculate, again you need 2 percentage changes, right? So 1 percentage change you will find, second also you will find, and then between them you will find the percentage change. I told you that many methods, 3 methods I told you, but you can best use the factor of multiplication concept which I told you. Just know the factor of multiplication, you will get the answer. So these are the questions that you can expect from percentage in data interpretation. Okay, I'll tell you the calculation techniques and how will you calculate percentages faster in the coming sessions, especially in the next session. But now let me quickly move on to averages, the questions which you expect from average. Okay, now again there are 3 questions which you will generally expect from average. It's like this. See, if I am saying there are 30, let me take a class. Okay, so I have a classroom with 30 students. Out of 30 students, 20 are boys and 10 are girls. Okay, 20 boys and 10 girls in a classroom. Now what I'll do is I'll give you the average weight of the boys. Okay, so average weight of the boys is, let's say, 30. Average weight of the boys is 30. Average of girls, let's say, 15. So what I'm giving you is average weight of boys, average weight of girls. And I've already told you the number of boys and girls, right? I told you number of boys are 20 and girls are 10. So number of boys and number of girls are given. What I need is, I need the average of class. So this is how you will represent, this scenario. So 30 is the weight of the boys, 15 is the weight of the girls, 20 boys and 10 girls. How will you get the average of the class? If you need to get the average weight of the class, you need the total weight of the class divided by total number of the class. Total number of the class, you know, 30. So you don't have any problem with the denominator. But how will you get the total weight of the class? What you need to do is, you need to find the total weight of the boys, then you find the total weight of the girls, add them, you will get the total of the class, divided by total numbers, you will get the average of the class. How will you find the total weight of the boys? You know the average of boys and you know the number of boys. So when you multiply this, right, 30 into 20, you will get what? 30 into 20 will give you weight of boys. Similarly, 15 into 10 will give you weight of girls. You need to add both to find the average of the total of the class, right? Plus 15 into 10. So what you got is total weight of the class divided by 30. What you will get is the average of the class. 30 is what? 20 plus 10, that is the number of students. So numerator, you got the total weight of the class, because this is boys, this is girls, divided by 30, you will get the average of the class. So this is going to be 600 and this is 750 divided by 30, you will get 25, right? So you are supposed to write it as 25. So your average of the class is 25. Now let me take a different scenario. So here these numbers are different, 2 and 10, 20 and 10, right? The numbers are different. That is why you are doing it. Let's suppose I am saying that number of boys is 10 and number of girls also 10. Both are equal. Then if you follow the same procedure, what happened? 30 into 10 plus 15 into 10, right? 15 into 10 divided by total number of students, right? 10 plus 10, that means 2 times 10, right? 10 plus 10 means 2 times 10. Okay, so now what will happen is, you can take 10 common out. Okay, 30 plus 15 divided by 10 into 2. This 10 and 10 will get cancelled out. 30 plus 15 divided by 2. So what I need to tell you is, if these numbers are same, you don't want to do this process. You just need to take the simple average between these two. That is 30 plus 15 divided by 2. Irrespective of whatever number is coming here. It can be 100, it can be 100, 200, 200, 300, 300, 400, 400, 1000, 1000, 2000, 2000, n,000, n,000, whatever it is. You just need to take the simple average. In which case, if these numbers are same, I am saying 10 boys and 10 girls, and the average of boys and average of girls it is given, take the simple average, that is 30 plus 15 divided by 2. If the numbers are different, like 10, 20 and 10, or for that matter any number, if it is different, you will have to do like this, and this is what we call as weighted average. This is what we call as weighted average, and this is what we call as simple average. So in which case you will go for weighted average. If these numbers are different, you will go for weighted average, and that's what you need to write here. If these numbers are different, this is going to be weighted average. If these numbers are same, like in this case, then 30 plus 15 divided by 2, 45 divided by 2, that is 22.5. That is your simple average. You don't want to go like this. So what you need to do first, if the average of the class is asked, you need to see the number of boys and girls in the class. If they are same, you just take the simple average. If they are different, you take the weighted average. What is the third scenario? The different case will be like this. They will give you average of boys, average of girls and class average. And they will ask you the ratio of boys and girls, right? So what you need to do is, write like this, take the difference. 15, 25 difference is what? 10. 30, 25 difference you will write here, that is 5. So 10, 5. Or you will write it as 2:1. Okay, so this is very simple as you can get. Average of boys, average of girls, class average is given. Just this is what you call as alligation. So when you alligate, you will get the ratio. Remember this point very clearly. What you are going to get here is the ratio only. And anything in this ratio, 2:1, will give you this 25 here. That means if you take 20 and 10, like what we have taken in the beginning, you will get 25. Why? Because that is in this ratio. And not only 20 and 10, if it is 10 and 5 also you will get this. If it is 150, then also you will get this. 1500 also will give you this. 200 and 100 will also give you this. So anything in the, here what is important for us is this ratio. Anything in this ratio, 2000, 1000, 2 crore, 1 crore, 2 lakh, 1 lakh will give you this very same average. Okay, so what I am going to tell you is, if average of boys, average of girls and average of this is given, class is given, when you are alligating, what you are going to get is the ratio. See, this kind of questions you will get a lot. Rice which costs 30 rupees have to be mixed with rice which costs 15 rupees, and the mixture you will get at a cost of 25. So what should be the ratio? 2:1 should be the ratio. Then what the other question which they can ask you is, now the question will be, now if you know this is 2:1, if this is given, let's say 20 kilogram. Now what I am going to tell you is, 20 kilogram of rice which costs 30 rupee is to be mixed with, now comes the question, 20 kilogram of rice which costs 30 rupee is to be mixed with what kilogram of this? So I don't know what kilogram of rice costs 15, such that you will get a mixture which will cost 25. So what you need to do, just write 30, 15, 25, get the ratio 2:1, and we understood that 2 corresponds to 20 kilograms, so this will be 10 kilogram because the ratio has to be the same. So that is how you'll get the answer. Okay, the same as the questions that you'll get in case of milk and water or petrol and kerosene or whatever it is. So this is how you'll make the question. So if I am asking you 100 boys having an average of 30, okay, and girls average is 15, okay, class average is 25, what will be the number of girls? If this is 100, this has to be 50 because this is the ratio. Why you are getting this ratio? Because when you are doing this, you are getting this ratio. So I hope you understood this. So this is what you need to understand in case of averages. So 3 cases that we have discussed is, this is given, this is given, this is given, number of this is given, this is given, and you need to find this. There are 2 cases, it is either weighted average or simple average. Okay, depends on the numbers here. If the numbers are same, simple average. If the numbers are different, weighted average. What is the different case? This is given, this is given, this is given. Okay, this is asked. So what you will get here is the ratio, and anything in this ratio will give you the very same average. And based on one number which is given, if this is given you can find this, if this is given you can find this, if you know the ratio. That is the idea here. Okay, so let me conclude it by writing like this. See, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Okay, this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm generalizing. If 1, 2, 4 and 5 is given, 1, 2, 4, 5 is given, what you need to do is either weighted average or simple average. Weighted average, if you have any doubt, this is my number. Okay, you can get back to me, you can message me, I'll try to reply as soon as possible.